subscribe? Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
Let's get Detroit in the building. Detroit, what's up, brother?
What up, though, man? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you, fam?
I'm good. Hey, Tariq, I've been wanting to ask you a question for a while.
Yeah.
You know, okay, you speak highly about our Mojaura spirit.
Yes.
Okay, we have the Mojaura spirit. How come our cousins in the diaspora don't have that same spirit? And my second point to that is, if we have the Mojaura spirit, which I believe we do, and there's balance in the universe, which I believe there is, what would be the antithesis to the Mojaura spirit? Thank you.
A very good question. That brother asked phenomenal questions. Listen, family, we have a Mojaura spirit because when we got here and when our ethnic group was created, we had an ethnogenesis. It was a Big Bang theory. We became a new ethnic group and we had a brand new spiritual aura that was created. There was a Big Bang theory with our ethnicity and with our spiritual essence. So we had to start creating everything from scratch. We didn't bring too many remnants from other places. We had some Black Aboriginal culture, some culture brought over from Africa, some of the Black explorers that would come over. But when we were all put together, and based on the traumatic experience that we had with the white supremacists, because that's the antithesis to the Mojaura spirit, we had to deal with these white supremacists directly and head on over here on this land with the Spanish white supremacists, then the French white supremacists, then the English white supremacists. So we were dealing with those evil forces as a minority. So that created a certain spiritual essence that we had to tap into. And we had to build up our spiritual capital in order to survive dealing with these hardcore white supremacists. These were brutal white supremacists. When they are taking your children and selling your children and making your very skin color a crime, and there's no sanctuary, and if you try to escape it, you would get punished and killed. You had to tap into a spiritual energy in order to survive that. And we built up a lot of spiritual capital. And that Mojaura energy, that's the real Jesus-like spirit that they talk about. Nobody has went through what we have went through. Nobody. That's why people are amazed that we even survived. Other groups, you pinch them a little bit, it's over for them. They flee, run, die, fall off. You can't even pinch them an inch or two the way we've been subjugated over here. But we've had the worst type of subjugation that was generational, yet we survived. That's the thing that amazed everybody. We walked off those plantations. We came out of slavery and we started thriving in many areas. We cut our illiteracy rate. We were inventing things left and right. That's why they said, hey, wait a minute. We just can't let these people run off and go. We have to use all of our resources to subjugate these people. These people have a certain godlike energy that's different. That's why we influence every damn body. Nobody influences the world like foundational Black Americans. Nobody. That's why all eyes are always on us. And I'm saying the Most High gave us a certain spiritual essence so that the world can see, hey, look, if those people over there went through what they went through, y'all need to get off your ass and do the right thing. Those FBAs, they really suffered. They really went through it. They really had to deal with real deal oppression. So all of these other groups, everybody can learn from that. You can learn to overcome your obstacles. We've dealt with the worst of the white supremacists. See, that's the antithesis of our spiritual energy, the white supremacists. And they've always looked at us as damn near being magical. That's why they used to rub on our heads. That was a thing in white supremacist society over here, rubbing the heads of foundational Black Americans for good luck and having us around for good luck. That's why if you look at many of the so-called forefathers, George Washington, they always kept Black people with them. Go look at old paintings of George Washington, and he would have these Black people with him all the time, not just as slaves, but advisors. Benjamin Banneker, that was an advisor to George Washington. You understand? All of these people would have Black advisors going up into Henry Ford. His Black advisor was George Washington Carver. You see? But there was a spiritual essence which was damn near magical. They thought, okay, these folks can take something and take nothing and turn it into something. They looked at us as people who can perform damn near alchemy. You give us a little bit, we take it and flip it into something magical. You give us a couple of vegetables and one piece of meat, we sat up here and turned that into a gumbo or a stew that could feed the whole plantation. We understood the importance of looking out for everybody. You give us certain food dishes, we turn those into delicacies. After the Civil War, when the Union troops left instruments from the Union Army, the Black folks in New Orleans picked them up and created jazz out the blue. You had Black folks working on railroads, and they would emulate the sounds of the trains while singing railroad songs. That turned into country music. A white man saw that and emulated it, and that became country music. You see? We've always been able to take something out of nothing and create a form of alchemy out of it. When Black folks were on plantations, we understood that cotton seeds are very flammable because they have a lot of carbon in them. We would use cotton seeds to warm our hands. People like Lewis Latimer, they knew this, and this is why they said, okay, we can use a carbon filament that's similar to the cotton seed in order to keep a light bulb on. You see, we understood this stuff working in the agrarian culture. We were the first healers. We were the ones healing sicknesses and diseases over here. We were magical damn people. We were the root workers. They were going to us to get healed. That's why there were a lot of Black people who were quote unquote doctors, but they were natural doctors making a lot of money because people were going to the Black people. Even the food items, they would have our images on food, not just Aunt Jemima, not just Uncle Ben. They would always have our images on food because they knew that was the real deal. They knew anything that was associated with Black was authentic. Just like Elijah McCoy, the real McCoy. He made a certain, Elijah McCoy was an inventor who made a certain item, and there were other people making duplicates of it. And they said, no, don't give us this duplicate. Give us the real McCoy. Give us what the Black guy made. Yeah. People want the real deal. They look at us as almost magical beings. You know what? That's what the Green Mile was about. Look at the movie The Green Mile. That was a perfect example of the dominant society understanding the spiritual essence that we have. They look at it as almost magical. In the movie The Green Mile, you had this big, burly Black man who was nice, gentle, and humble, but he was falsely accused of a crime. But he had these magical healing powers. He could heal people, and he was healing these white people. And they tragically killed him at the end of the movie. Yeah, but he had these healing powers and he was sacrificed because in the system of white supremacy, yeah, we know what we're doing is wrong to these people, but it's a necessary evil in order for the white supremacists to thrive and survive. We know that these people are godlike. We know that they have a magical spiritual essence, but we know as white supremacists, we cannot survive if they're taking over because they will naturally just wipe us out without even trying. So we have to subjugate these people. See, the John Coffey character, that's in the Green Mile, his initials were JC. John Coffey, his initials were JC. Who's who else has those initials JC? See, that was an analogy. JC is also for Jesus Christ. See, the John Coffey character was basically an updated modern version of Jesus Christ. Spiritual person who had to be sacrificed. It's real deep when you think about it, family, but they know. That's why all eyes are always on us. That's why whenever people have conflict, they want to know what side foundational Black Americans stand on, not people in the Caribbean. I'm not denigrating you. Not people in Africa. They don't give a. They want to know where the FBA is standing on this. That's why this Palestine Israel, they keep trying to get us to choose a side. They need our moral, spiritual Mojaura capital in order to give them legitimacy. You see? They always look at us and look at our spiritual essence and what we're doing and what we're going for. And everybody follows our lead, even in the Vietnam War. That was foundational Black Americans looking down on that. That's why the US was not successful. We were, and the war ended up ending. We were the ones saying, hey, this ain't it. You had people like Muhammad Ali who risked his career to say, I'm not going to go over there and harm them people. No other group would do that. Muhammad Ali was on top of the world, the heavyweight champion of the world. He relinquished that to stand on business because he had that Mojaura spirit. People look to that and say, we need to strive to be like that. And remember, we were the ones, the Black Panthers were going over there speaking up, saying, hey, harming these people is not the business. We were making songs against that. What's that song? War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. What was that guy's name? Edwin Starr. What's the guy who made that song? War. What is it good for? He was singing his ass off on that song. He was going in. That was an anthem in the Black community at the time. Powerful song, right? Speaking and singing against that because we've always had the moral high ground based on our Mojaura spirit. And the dominant society, they know that. That's why they always have to try to create an image of denigration to us so that we don't understand our spiritual essence. This is why I always give props and thanks to our elders and our ancestors and those phenomenal foundational Black Americans who we grew up with. Many of us, the Gen Xers, we grew up around that foundational Black American community where you still had those respectable elders. See, some of us still remember that. To me, those people, especially those elder sisters, even the brothers, but them elder sisters like my grandmother and people like that, these were angelic people. These were spiritual beings. These were oracles. There was no one as thorough and as spiritually sound as those people. Those old school Southern Black folks, those people that you saw in the civil rights movement, that's where a lot of our families come from. That's where my family comes from. They were from Alabama. So that spiritual strength and righteousness that those people had, we grew up with that. We grew up seeing that in our communities. Those people were phenomenal and they understood the spiritual capital that they had. The Mojaura spirit was very heavy with those people. You understand? Those people, those foundational Black Americans from that era, these people would look out for everybody. These were the folks that people could go to. They would help everybody in the community. Whenever we did have foreigners, this is why I get on the tethers and they talk crap. I saw some tether woman on Twitter talking crap about Mississippi. Like, why y'all Black people be living in Mississippi? Ain't nothing in Mississippi. I got very offended by that because it was the foundational Black Americans in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia who were the first people who opened their damn doors to foreign Africans who would come over here in the 50s and 60s. When African students came over here, and they came from Kenya, they were coming from Kenya, and I think Barack Obama's dad was a part of that crew. It was the Black church, like Dr. King and those people, it was Black churches raising money for these people. You understand what I'm saying? It was our families in the churches raising money, helping these people come over, letting them stay with them. Because remember, this was Jim Crow. Where else are they going to stay? They had to stay among foundational Black Americans, and we were taking care of these people. We didn't sit up and say, oh, when they come over, stay away from them, which is what they do. Many of them, they get over here now talking about stay away from the Akata. When you know history, you'll understand how offensive that is when we utilized our Mojaura spirit to welcome in everybody and help everybody. And remember, it was the Mojaura spirit of foundational Black Americans who helped the Ethiopians when the Italians were about to smash down on them. Foundational Black Americans lined up around this country to go over there and volunteer. John Robinson, our FBA brother, took his airplane over there and joined them and showed them how to fly planes in a strategic way to get them Italians off their back. That's the Mojaura spirit, that spirit of sacrifice. We foundational Black Americans are damn near superheroes, family. We are damn near superheroes. That's why Stan Lee from Marvel Comics was basing his characters like the X-Men on Malcolm X and Dr. King. Did y'all know that? They were basing their characters on foundational Black American leaders, guys. You understand? People know, they know us. They know what we're capable of. It's real heavy, but the Majora spirit is very real. We have a very unique spiritual essence that was created based on our experience here. And I think the Most High wanted us to have this spiritual essence to teach the world. And that's what we have done. That's why we're so damn influential everywhere we go. We're the only group of people, if you go around the world, everybody's acting like us, and we've never went around killing people or subjugating them. In order to get people to emulate your culture, emulate the way you look, act, and dress, you got to go subjugate them. In order for you to go in and teach people Christianity, you got to go over here and start killing, raping, maiming, and subjugating people. That's what the Europeans had to do. We didn't do that. All we did was just be our spiritual selves. You go anywhere around this world, people are dressing, acting, talking like foundational Black Americans. That's the Mojaura spirit, ladies and gentlemen. I remember going to Easter Island, and there was an Aboriginal woman there who was in awe looking at us. It's like, oh my God, I've never seen a Black American in person. I'm just taken back. She was just in awe. It was like, we're kind of tripping, but she was just staring at us like she was staring at spiritual beings. These people trip out when they see us. I want y'all to understand. Some of you who travel, y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, people look to us for spiritual guidance, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let the white supremacists like to promote certain ratchet images to offset that because they hate the fact that other groups look to us for cultural cues. They don't like that. They don't like for us to have that kind of global influence. They don't like that. That's why, family, in international situations, when they need hostages released, one, what happens is some of the foreign entities will release the Black hostages. That's what remember in Iran, they had them hostages in Iran. All the foundational Black American ones, they released them and kept the white ones. This was in like 79. Y'all remember that? In Iran, they got a bunch of American hostages. They released the foundational Black American ones and kept all the white ones. They kept them there for like a year or something. They were there hungry, eating baklava and the Black folks at home eating barbecue. Like, damn, that's right. Y'all remember? Wasn't that like 1979? They had them Iranian hostages. Yeah. And whenever they want to get hostages from somewhere, they got to send us over there. Right? Whenever they got some hostages somewhere, they got to send some foundational Black Americans over there to get them. They had to send Jesse Jackson and went over there and got some people. Muhammad Ali got some people. I think Dennis Rodman got some people out of didn't he get somebody out of North Korea? If I'm not mistaken, it was some hostages. They sent Dennis Rodman over there and got some folks back. We were trying to get old girl, the Britney chick out of Russia. We're about to get her. They were going to send Roy Jones. I think Dennis Rodman was going to go over there. They didn't want it. They don't like, no, we can't have y'all. We can't have Black folks be in the face of diplomacy globally. They kept trying to stop us from doing that. Yeah. But yeah, we've always been that spiritual beacon with our Majara energy. Yeah. Real heavy stuff. Let's get Dexter in here. Dexter, what's up, brother? Dexter, what's up, brother? Dexter, you were raising your hand. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, Tariq, can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you, Dex. What's up, brother?
Hey, look, I'm surprised you got me, but you got me. Hey, I appreciate the space, and I just want to add on what you were saying about the Mojaura spirit and what about our people here.
Mm-hmm.
What the tethers are jealous of is they've been told in their land that they're so special and the world admires them and loves them, and that they can go anywhere and they can be marveled at. And they get here among us and they become average, not being seen, invisible
Mm,
among us.
mm.
That's what happened to them. And that's why you got the jealous Myron Gaines, who is a wannabe Arab tether,
Mm-hmm.
that he's thinking he's going to be among the rest of white society. He'll be this great praised in between white person, and he has no sway among us. And he's like a little nerdy, uh, non-factor person,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of them the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I just want to add value to that. I'll land.
Thank you so much. Let's get Richard. Richard in the building. Richard, unmute your microphone.
Oh, hey, what's
What's
up?
going on, Rich?
What's up? How's it
Oh,
going? How's it
good. So
going?
what's on your mind? You were giving a lot of gestures and emojis. So
Oh, no. No, it's just that some of the things you say, and they're pretty funny. You know, some things you talk about are pretty funny. You know, your space is pretty funny. That's why. That's all.
okay. So what's funny? Tell me what's funny, sir.
Oh no, nothing. It's just no, you know how your space are. They're just I mean, you just have a good time, and people have a good laugh and things like that. You talk about the tethers and all that stuff, and Tandoori chicken about Kamala Harris and all. That's just what's so funny about it.
There you go. All
You know,
right,
you
all right. Thank you, Richard. I don't know what Richard's talking about. Thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate you. Oh Lord. Okay. I think I saw one of Myron Gaines' people in here. What happened to him? I think I saw one of Myron's people pop in and then they popped out. It was one of these I think one of these Albanians. I could have swore I saw one of Myron's people pop their head in here real quick. Yeah, one of Myron's people. Are y'all in here? Go hop in real quick. Let's talk about it. What's on your mind? One of Myron's people, hop on in here. Let's see what's on your mind. All right, we got a lot of folks in here. Let's get Unite Amara for Survival. Okay. This just sounds like some East African. Unite Amara. What's up, Unite Amara? Hop on in. Unite Amara. All right, while we're waiting on Unite Amara, let's get Jace in the building.
Hi guys.
Hey, what's going on, Unite?
Hi Mr. Nasheed. I have a question for
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Do you believe the Haitians won the French colonizers using the voodoo spiritual warfare?
Actually, I think that was part of it. Yeah, I think they tapped into their spiritual energy with voodoo, and I think that was part of the reason why they won. Yes, I think that was very significant.
I guess my second question is that what happened to that spiritual bonding?
Well, what happened, a lot of them, there were still a lot of Christians on the island. And what happened is a lot of the people who wanted the French, because some of them were missing white mommy and white daddy, they started turning on some of the revolutionaries. They turned on Dessalines, they turned on Christophe. So it was the Sambo class who were missing the white mommy and white daddy French. They started turning on people, and then that weakened them internally. And then France circled back around and said, okay, since you guys are back weak, y'all need to pay us, so we're going to come and use all of our resources to recolonize that island. And that's what happens. And then the US got in on it and put sanctions against Haiti. Thomas Jefferson and those guys, they were like, hey, we're not going to trade with them and other Western powers. You should not trade with that island. So they all got together as Western powers to starve them out. So that's what happened to them.
Well, that's so sad. So I guess now the foundational Black Americans how are you going to implement that spiritual bond in order to get somewhere? Because I feel like, I think what you're doing is mostly I agree with it, but there are some things that I don't agree with
Like
it.
what?
With, for example, like disconnecting the foundational Black Americans from Africans and from other people.
Hmm.
Um, I think, I believe that there is power in numbers, and I believe like the more disconnected you become, the more isolated you will be, and then there's not really much power.
And ma'am, are you in Ethiopia? Tigray, where are you?
Yeah, I am an Ethiopian.
And ma'am, it's a lot of tribal groups over there in your homeland, dear.
Yes, sir, and I disagree with that as well.
Right. So yeah, ma'am, y'all got to get it together over there. You guys are so disconnected in just that country alone. Forget about the whole continent. That whole continent is disconnected. So you guys want us to have some kind of cultural cohesion with you guys that y'all don't even have. See, that's the thing. Y'all have to,
I know, I agree, but what I'm saying is we look up to you guys. So I'm saying you should be, you know, an example, a role model.
ma'am. Well, there's only so much we can do. It has to be reciprocal, ma'am.
I am not a ma'am. I am actually younger than your first
Well,
daughter.
how old are you? Because you sound old. You got an old spirit. How old are you, beloved? You
24.
sound old as hell, man. You're haunted by an old spirit, beloved. So yeah, I can say ma'am. I say ma'am to my daughter. I say ma'am to my 2-year-old. Yes, ma'am. I'm very respectful to everybody. But the thing is, y'all have to get it together there. You can't say we should be a role model. We've been a role model, ma'am. I've done several movies bigging up the history of certain African nations. I've been over there giving money to orphanages, bonding with folks, trying to build with people, and it cannot be one-sided. Foundational Black Americans, we're always leading the charge, trying to go over there to build and uplift the culture there. Speaking of Ethiopia, our brother John C. Robinson went over there to help you guys fight against the Italians. Foundational Black Americans were lining up around this country trying to volunteer to get over there to help you guys. We've always helped African people, but it has to be reciprocal. We can't.
Yeah, but King Haile Selassie also
Oh,
has friendship with Marcus Garvey. The King Haile Selassie, the imperial majesty of the king, of Ethiopia, he had that kind of bonding brotherhood with Marcus Garvey, um, and they were actually doing something good.
yeah,
But then,
they were right, but they were
unfortunately,
trying to. But Marcus Garvey never stepped foot on African soil. He never got to Africa. And also, when Haile Selassie designated certain land for us, it was supposed to be for foundational Black Americans because we helped them in the Italian War that was going on. So Haile Selassie was going to give us land. The Jamaicans heard about it, and they ran over there and got all the damn land. So there's always been these little finesse things going. But and shout out to Haile Selassie for doing that, but we didn't even get the benefit from that. But again, we foundational Black Americans, we're always in the forefront of helping people there. But what happens, y'all send us people like Myron Gaines and Cynthia Erivo, and that is a problem. Y'all send people over here that
who are those now? Who are those
yeah,
people?
there's some, yeah, look those up, look them up. Yeah, we get a lot of people sent here who denigrate us, and that's a problem. People start sending us Barack Obama. He's from Africa. His family's from Africa.
No, he isn't. He was born and raised in America. What are you talking
From
about?
Africa. His father's Kenyan, beloved. His family's from Africa.
Yeah, I know his
That's
father
what I'm
is,
saying.
but but he's an American
Yeah, I
though.
mean,
He,
he's not a foundational Black American, but his family's from Kenya. Yeah, he's Kenyan and white. He's not from our lineage, and he has not done anything to help us.
Y- Yeah, but I mean, foundational Black America, when it comes to reparations, absolutely, it should only be for FBAs. But I'm talking about politically, economically, educationally, even culturally. I think we need to bond. I mean, yes, we do. We have work to do, and you do too.
No, we're fine. We're on our homeland. All we have to do is keep doing our FBA thing. We're fine. We just don't need people who are not really trying to bond. Bonding doesn't mean coming over and eating off of our resources and then cornering yourself off somewhere where we can't touch anything of your culture. That's not bonding. That's
But who does that though? I think
Um,
you're basing it off of like a very minority, like maybe not even 1%
mm,
that would do that.
ma'am, do you live in Ethiopia now? Or are you in the U.S.?
I am in Norway.
Norway. Okay. Yeah, because over here, one.
For school though, for school.
But have you lived over here in the U.S.?
I have
Where? Minnesota? Where'd you live?
California.
California. Yeah, y'all have when y'all come over here, y'all have y'all own little community somewhere. Y'all make sure you distance yourselves from us. Y'all have your own little enclaves. So yeah, you're not bonding. You coming over.
No, no. So let me tell you, my family and I actually have supported your work, the hidden, all those
I'm
documentaries.
not talking about me.
We no, wait, though. I think you're judging
Hold
me
on.
though based on other
Oh, slow
people.
down. I'm not talking about me personally. Look, personally, when I go to Africa, all the African nations, they roll out the red carpet for me. I'm treated very nicely as an individual. But I'm talking about culturally as a collective. That's what I'm saying. Not just me. I know a lot of people support my stuff, but the person who doesn't make films, the average foundational Black American, a lot of people come over and their whole disposition is, well, we got to stay away from the Akatas, stay away from the Jarirs, stay away from the Abids. So it's a lot of that, and that's problematic.
What does that mean? What are those words
Well,
mean?
those are words that come from your continent that people use when they come over here against us, ma'am. These are certain terms they use, right?
Well, I think I'm perplexed because in my household there is a poster of Malcolm X,
Mhm.
uh, uh, Dr. John Henrik Clark, Dr. Wilson, um, and Dr. Francis. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of shocked actually.
Mm. Now, why do you think that us just acknowledging our lineage is being disconnected from Africa and all of that? We're acknowledging our unique lineage here. So how is that a disconnection? Because
No, I agree. I support that. I told you that the Foundational Black America Network is, I think, great. Uh, my thing is that when you start saying, no, we're not Africans, we have nothing to do with Africans. I mean, every human being actually came from Africa,
right.
right?
That
So
would make it redundant to say we have a relationship with Africa the same way that every human being has. Everybody's DNA goes to Africa. So that's redundant. We're not continental Africans. Genetically, yeah, but we're not continental Africans. And that's just a reality.
because of eugenics.
No, not eugenics. We're just not continental Africans. We haven't lived in Africa for centuries. So we've had an ethnogenesis. We became an ethno.
So if you were to do a DNA analysis, you will have no African in
No,
you.
it's
Is that what you're saying?
I don't know why listen. You're not naive. You're not a naive young lady.
No, I'm
You're
not. I'm not naive.
not,
I'm nice.
you're not naive. Don't do that because now you get into a bad faith argument, and a lot of y'all do that. See, you don't want to do that. Let me thank you, dear. I'm not going to even go into that. When they start doing that, well, if you do a DNA, well, okay, sis, that's bad faith. That's a bad faith, time wasting argument. I never said that, and a lot of them do that. When we start talking about how we're not continental Africans, they start talking about a damn DNA test. That's a time wasting mechanism. I've never said that if you do a DNA test, we wouldn't have African genetics. Everybody's going to have some African genetics. I had a white man call here the other day talking about he got some Nigerian DNA, a straight up white man. I think he was trying to figure out a way to get some reparations. Hey, dude, I did a DNA test. I think I might be Igbo. He tried to play that. I'm 6% Nigerian, buddy. Mhm. So, listen, everybody's DNA is going to go to three places: Africa, Asia, and Europe. Everybody. We're not talking about that. If you go find a so called Cherokee Indian, their lineage is probably going to go back to Asia and Europe and some African too. All right, that's irrelevant. We're talking about lineage wise. And as far as our lineage, we're from here. We've had an ethnogenesis here. We are a different ethnic group. We're not continental Africans. All right. Jace, what's up, Jace?
Hey, Tariq, can you hear
I
me?
can hear you, Jace. How are you?
Yeah. All right, I'm good. It's just a quick question I
Go
have.
ahead.
All right, you've talked in the past about replacing the system of white supremacy with the system of
Right.
justice. Can you tell me first, how that happens, and second, what does a system of justice look like? That's something I've always been confused about. I'm assuming you don't mean, a better justice system.
Well, according to Neely Fuller, the system of justice, and justice means that guaranteeing that nobody is mistreated, one, and guaranteeing that those who need the most constructive help get the most constructive help. That's all justice is. Just don't mistreat nobody and make sure people get constructive help. That's all it is. And we need that system. In the current system we have now, um, it's systematic that Black people are mistreated systematically, not just on an individual basis, because what happens is you got a lot of people in the dominant white society who'll say, I'm not racist, I'm not mean to anybody, I don't hate anybody. But the system is already on autopilot that was created by the white supremacists that's mistreating people systematically. The system is already, it's baked in the cake that Black people are going to get the short end of the stick. So that's a problem. So that whole system is an overhaul. So that's what we mean by that.
All right, that's all. Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Tariq.
much, Jace. All right. Ah, man. Shout out to everybody in here. We're in here deep. Y'all need to get my book, Foundational Black American Race Baiter. Y'all can get that at officialfba.com. Officialfba.com. Very, very good book, ladies and gentlemen. Foundational Black American Race Baiter. Also, go to Hidden History Museum and get the children's book and the young adult book, Hidden Heroes from A to Z. That's at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. And for anybody who got a little must under them arms, go to rootworkstyle.com to get the Rootwork deodorant. That's rootworkstyle.com. All right, family, I'm up out of here. You guys have a great evening. Follow my YouTube channel and subscribe. That's Tariq Radio. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm a holla. Papiakute Lolavuvi to the family. Peace.
Hi, I'm Mateo. Do you want to learn about Hidden Heroes? Hidden Heroes from A to Z is a cool book that tells the stories of amazing Black heroes you might not know about. You'll meet inventors, you'll meet explorers, and leaders who changed the world. It's fun, inspiring, and you can learn so much. Get your copy now at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Let's discover our hidden heroes together.